What's up YouTube? Robbie Vapes back again with another video, and that's right, today we are going to be doing my first ever attempt at a vlog. So I'm very excited about this. I've been trying to put one together for a little while now and debating on whether or not I should do it, and finally came to the conclusion of just, you know what, let's dive right into this, let's get started, and we're going to try our first vlog. So let's see how it goes. I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about today, but before we get to that, let's just start by saying this, alright? Grab your vapes, get comfortable, grab your Snuggies, whatever you want to grab, and let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy ourselves here. Because that's what this is all about. Let's just have fun today. It should be a fun video, so we'll see how it goes, but a few things I want to talk about. First thing on the docket is going to be about ethics and what I think we should be doing to kind of help ourselves. Many of you already do it, so I'd love to hear from you guys as far as what your thoughts are. We're also going to be talking about my setup, some lighting, some different things we'll be doing, which should be pretty good. And then third thing we're going to talk about is some of my hobbies and other interests. And at the end of the video, I'll actually announce some rules and details for my upcoming giveaway. My channel's been growing faster than I could have ever imagined. I'm already nearing the 100 subscriber mark, so I can't thank you all enough for watching me, for putting up with me sitting here in front of this camera and just yammering on for a long time. And this is probably not going to be an exception to that, so again, buckle in, brace yourselves, and let's get going. So first thing I wanted to talk about was ethics. Before we get into that, I'm going to take a quick hit. I'm going to be just randomly hitting off this thing as I go. Today I'm vaping on my Skelly 150 watt with the device you shouldn't really know about because the video hasn't actually come out yet, but I did actually get a Vapes & Magnus V2 or production model, if you will, and that's what I'm going to be using in this video. The video for this will be out probably end of the week, Friday-ish, I'm thinking, if all goes well. But we won't talk about it too much now, but just so you know what I'm vaping on, and of course I'm vaping on the Cowtown E-Juice BYOB. So, yeah, so I'm going to take a couple hits, and then we can get started. Feel free to vape along with me if you guys want. Do your thing, guys. Just sit back, you know, like I said, get comfortable. So we're going to be talking about a touchy subject to some people, and that is vaping ethics. Now, there's a lot of heat on vapors right now, all across the country, all across Canada, all across the US, all across the world, even actually for that matter. And I know I have a lot of viewers out there in Europe, in you know, all over the place: UK, Germany, France, Russia, the Philippines. There's so many I can't even think of them off the top of my head. But huge shout out to all of you guys international who are watching this. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you like this video as well, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, so huge shout out to that. But again, going back to ethics, what are some things we can be doing, if we're not already doing, to avoid getting any sort of negative publicity on ourselves? One of the things I've noticed, and I have to be honest, I'm taking some of this from a survey I took recently. The City of Calgary just released a survey on vaping, and it was a great survey. I like that they did that because it let us express our opinions on the matter as opposed to just shoving bans in our face, which is really good. So thank you, Calgary, for supporting us and for hearing us out, because that's very important to us as well, to be heard. Now, some of the questions, like I said, I'm going to be taking a little bit from it, so, you know, but I'm curious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a list of questions, get your ideas, and I want you guys to play along a little bit. You know, put your answers below in the comments, and then at the end of this, I'll let you guys pause it or whatever to fill in any final questions. They're all going to be yes, no kind of thing, or whatever. But you can fill it in, and then I'll give my answers afterwards. That way it's not, that way you're not getting a biased opinion of what I'm saying and then trying to either go around me and try and argue with me, or you're not trying to copy what I say, and I just want your own opinion on this, okay? Because it's something I'm curious about. You know, there's a lot of questions there that really threw me for a loop, and I was trying to figure out, you know, what am I like? Are people actually doing this? Are they not doing it? I don't know. So I'll start with the first question. First question is gonna be an easy one. How many of you guys watching have smoked at least a pack of cigarettes in the last, let's say, you know what, how many of you guys have smoked a pack of cigarettes within 2 weeks of vaping? So in other words, vaping was your primary way to quit cigarettes. How many of you guys smoked a pack of cigarettes within 2 weeks before starting to vape? First question. Next question we're going to go into is a pretty simple one. How many of you guys vape? Pretty straightforward. Or I guess the question for you would be, do you vape? Yes or no? Next question I'm going to ask is, now we're getting a little bit more personal, okay? I'm going to list a series of places, and I want you guys to name whether or not you vaped at any of these places. First one. Inside a building of some sort. Could be an office building, could be some sort of government building, something like that. Have you ever vaped inside one of those? That's the first question. Second question. Have you guys ever vaped in a school? That could be a university, a college, or in some cases a high school. I'm just curious, how many of you guys have vaped inside a school? Third question. How many of you, or have you, sorry, I keep saying how many, but have you ever vaped in a shopping mall? Fair question. Follow-up question to that, if you answer yes, was there a vape shop in that shopping mall? Next one, have you ever vaped inside a movie theater? It's a fair question. The next one is, have you ever vaped at a playground? Now here's the thing. For me, obviously, I can't comment on this one in particular. I don't go to playgrounds, obviously. I mean, I'm a full-grown man. I have no kids. I'm single, so like I don't go to playgrounds or anything like that. I don't need to go to playgrounds. But yeah, so have you ever vaped at a playground? And I'm mostly asking that to people who have kids and things like that, who take their kids out. I'm curious if you guys will vape at a playground. Just curious. And the last question is, have you ever vaped inside a restaurant? Actually, I'll add one more. So have you ever vaped inside a restaurant? And another question to that that's similar but a little bit different is, have you ever vaped inside a bar? And so that's it. Those are the questions. I'm curious to find out what your responses are. And if you want to pause the video, fill them out. So again, the questions are, have you smoked a pack within 2 weeks of starting to vape? That could have been 4 years ago, it could have been 2 months ago. Whatever it is, no big deal. Next question was, have you, or do you vape? Simple question, yes or no. Then we're going to get into, again, here are the five, or I think there was 5 or 6 places. First one is, have you ever vaped inside a building? Public building, professional building, a workplace, something like that. And maybe we can narrow it down to, have you ever vaped at the workplace? But again, it can change. So, have you ever vaped inside a building is the first one. Next one is, have you ever vaped inside a mall, a shopping mall? The follow-up question to that is, if you have, was there a vape shop in that mall? Next one is, have you ever vaped inside a movie theater? And I already may be mixing them up because I'm just going off memory already, so hopefully I don't mix it up too badly. After that, we have you ever vaped at a playground of any sort? And again, I'm mostly talking to people with kids because I assume they're the only ones going to a playground. Could be wrong, but I'm assuming. And then, of course, the other question is, have you ever vaped inside a restaurant? And then separate from that, have you ever vaped inside a bar or a pub? So those are the questions, guys. Feel free to pause the video, answer them below if you want to give me your opinions on it, and I'll go through the list for me. So I'm assuming you've paused the video now, and we're back, hopefully. If not, no big deal. So here are the questions again, and I'm going to answer them all for you. The first question, did I smoke a pack of smokes before or within 2 weeks of starting vaping? The answer for me was yes. So yes, vaping definitely acted as a cessation device, but it's kind of become more than that. It's kind of become more of an alternative for me. It's not so much a means to quit anymore, it's just an alternative that I enjoy doing. Here's the thing, if I were to give up vaping, I truly believe that within 3-4 weeks, I'd be back on smoking. That's just me. I have no willpower apparently, which is fine, but I feel I need this more. And it's not that I'm addicted to it. it's almost like it's fear that motivates me to keep using it in some ways, and the enjoyment, of course, as well. But the fear of going back to smoking cigarettes, that's why I just can't bring myself to quit, nor do I really want to, for that matter. But even if I did want to, I don't know that I could and not go back to cigarettes. I feel like this is a great alternative, and that's just my opinion. Are there health risks associated to it? I'm sure there's some. There's bound to be something that'll come up, whether it be a couple months from now or a couple years from now, time will tell. So yes, I did smoke a pack of cigarettes before vaping. I had actually smoked several packs. I had been a smoker for almost 10 years actually before I went into vaping. I was smoking on and off for the first probably 5 years. And then the last 5 years is when it got really bad and I was smoking upwards of a pack a day, depending on the day. If I was going to the bar or whatever, I'd have to at least bring a full pack with me because I could easily go through it in a night. This is a great alternative. I like it. Just me. Next question is, do I vape? You're damn right I do. Yeah, so obviously I vape. Question after that is, again, have I ever vaped in certain spots? And here's where things could get a little bit iffy. I don't know, I might lose some subscribers over this, I might offend some people by this, but these are my answers. I hope you respect them. So here we go. Have I ever vaped inside a building or a professional office or something like that? Yes, I have. As I've mentioned before in some other videos, I have a boss who's wonderful enough to let me vape inside my own office. I have my own office in the building. It's good. I just vape inside there and no complaints. So it's really good. I really appreciate the company that I work for letting me do that. So it makes a difference. Now, had my boss not let me vape inside, would I have caused a fuss about it? Probably not. I would have just walked outside and had a vape with all the cigarette smokers, whatever. I didn't want to, but if I had to do it, I would, just out of respect. I don't want to cause issues. I don't want to sit there and say, well, actually, I'm allowed to based on the current laws, because that's how you get laws changed. You get enough people complaining saying, well, yeah, you're allowed to, a current law, so let's just ban everything now. Now we're not going to let you vape anywhere. Like, it's going to be crazy. And it's going to become just like smoking. So, again, have I vaped and do I vape indoors at an office building? Yes, I do. It's my own office. I don't sit there taking it down the halls, me vaping down the halls, going into other people's offices and vaping it. I only vape in my own office. And it's not because I've been told to, it's because out of respect, I'm sure you've heard the expression, give an inch to take a mile. You give me an inch, I'm going to take the inch and no more than that. I am not going to sit there and argue, or I'm not going to try and push my luck. I'm just going to take what you gave me. I'm thankful for being able to vape in my own office, so that is a huge plus. The next one is, do you vape inside a mall, a shopping mall? I have once. There was a little vape kiosk inside the mall, and they were getting me to try flavors there. And to be honest, I felt really awkward. I mean, you gotta think of it this way. Where is the #1 spot for young teens to hang out? It's a mall. So you're gonna start vaping in front of them, and then we're gonna start trying to argue that we're not marketing to teens? I don't know, guys. To me, it's just, I don't like that. I don't like vaping in a mall. Even when I was trying it, I was trying to hide it. I'm like trying to conceal it. I had a little, this was back when I first started vaping for the very first time. I had a little like e-pen kind of thing. It was like an EVOD clone or whatever. It wasn't even a real EVOD, although I paid more than an actual EVOD would have cost, but that's another story. So yes, I'm sitting there, I'm like, looking around the entire time, I'm like suspicious, and I'm like, oh god, I don't want to offend anyone. Like, I feel wrong doing this. I don't know. How do you guys feel? Are you guys okay with vaping in a mall? Do you feel like, there's certain times when it might be more acceptable or less acceptable? Do you find it's more acceptable if there's a vape shop in the mall? I don't know. So anyways, that's my opinion. I don't recommend it, but that's just me. What do I know, right? Next place was, have you ever vaped inside of a movie theater? And to me, the answer is no. And here's why, okay? This is why I don't vape inside a movie theater. Here's the thing. Movies, at least where I am, they're not cheap. I mean, you're easily paying 25, 30 bucks now for a fucking ticket, and then you got to pay another 20 or 30 bucks just for your popcorn and drink. Like, it's a $50+ experience right now. It's crazy. So if I'm going to go to a movie theater and all of a sudden I start vaping, to me, here's my argument. If there's a non-vapor or whoever in the crowd and you start vaping, which I'm assuming there's going to be because we're not that popular yet, you know, they're in the theater, they're watching the movie, trying to enjoy it, and all of a sudden it's like a huge like vape cloud comes down on them. It's gonna be an off-putting experience for them. They paid $50 just like you did to go see this movie. They want to enjoy it too, so let's not ruin it for them as well. Same thing, you know, or if you're in front of them, you're watching the movie, all of a sudden this big cloud of vape comes in front of them and they're like, what the hell? But it's distracting to them. So I don't vape inside a movie theater. I don't know if anyone else does. Maybe if the theater was empty and I was like the only one, but that's like never happened to me before. For some reason, I tend to always go to movies on the most popular day. The last probably 3 movies I went to all came out at least 3 weeks before I went, and of course, the day I went, packed theater. No matter what. Guaranteed, every time I go, packed theater. So, I don't get empty theaters. Just saying. But again, it's all about the experience for everyone else around you. I just feel like it's not really right to start vaping in front of, in a movie theater where it's a whole bunch of people in a fairly confined space. And it just ruins the experience for other people. So, that's my opinion. I have never, and I probably never will, so just me. Next place is a playground. Obviously, I don't vape at a playground. I don't even go to a playground, so I cannot comment on that much further than that. But I assume that question was meant more so for parents. You know, are you comfortable vaping, not just in front of your own kid, but are you comfortable vaping in front of all these other kids? And I mean, it's a good question. You know, what should you be vaping there? Yes, you're outside, but you know, you're in front of a lot of impressionable kids there, so I don't know. I personally would never do it, even if I had kids, but that's just me. Next one is the restaurant, I believe. I hope I'm not missing one. I'm just going off the top of my head again. So, have I ever vaped inside a restaurant? And my answer is absolutely no. I have never vaped inside a restaurant. I think that is, and I'm sorry if you have, but I think that's absolutely disgusting. Imagine you're sitting there trying to eat your meal, and you're eating your pasta or whatever, you're eating it up, and all of a sudden a huge fucking cloud of vape, again, or to some people it looks like smoke. They're thinking they have a whole bunch of a cloud of smoke coming their way, and it lands in their food, and they're just like, I mean, if that was me, I'm a vapor, and if someone were to vape by me, and it landed in my food, or even went by my food, I'm done. Loss of appetite, game over, I'm done. Never eating again. Like, to me, that is almost... No, you know what, to me, that is as disgusting as someone sitting there spitting in my food. That's how rude I think it is, that's how disgusting I think it is. I don't agree with it. I think it's absolutely the worst thing we can do as vapors. In my opinion, this is the worst place to vape on the list. Except maybe the playgrounds, but again, I can't really comment on that. But in a restaurant, that has to be the worst place to vape. People are sitting there trying to enjoy a meal, and you're blowing what looks to be smoke. Yeah, we know it's vapors, it's vapor, but they don't. They just see this big cloud. And even if you're just using an EVOP pen and you're vaping inside, it's still distracting to people. So for me, I don't know, I say no way in hell would I ever vape in a restaurant. I think that's absolutely rude. I think it's very disgusting, but that's me. Maybe you guys think the same way, maybe you don't. Let me know. And of course, the last place is a bar. First question, have I ever vaped inside a bar? Yes, I have. Do I currently vape inside a bar? No, it's been probably about 4 or 5 months since I've vaped inside a bar. I took a couple puffs inside the bar, and it just didn't feel right away. For me, it was just uncomfortable. There was no one else in the bar vaping, and I looked around to make sure, because at least if there was, it wouldn't be as uncomfortable as what, being the only person there, just, blowing vape out. And so I just started going outside. That being said, is it wrong to vape in a bar? You're surrounded by people who are guaranteed to be over the legal drinking age, which might be 18, as it is here in Alberta, or it could be 21 somewhere, or 19, depending on where you live. So you're not really getting the negative publicity of the fact that, oh, we're marketing to, to kids. No, but you could offend people, and that's the thing. So I think when that comes into play, if you want to chance it, by all means go for it. I can see why you would, because when I go outside to vape, I literally, every time I go outside to vape, I'm surrounded by smokers. I try and go as far away from them as I can, and I just start vaping, but the problem is, when I'm vaping, it produces these huge clouds, and then it draws them all into me. So they're all coming over, oh, what's that? Oh, what are you doing there? You know, and here's my thought process. If I can get at least one of those smokers to quit smoking and start vaping instead, that's a success for me. You know, nothing's better than that. And that ultimately, that's my goal. You know, I want to make sure people quit smoking and start vaping. So the question becomes, in the bar scenario, let's say you are vaping inside a bar and the manager asks you to leave. You know, says, look, I'd really like you to take that outside. The other question is, would you be offended? I mean, for me personally, if someone asked me to leave because I was vaping, absolutely, I'll go outside, I'll take it outside, no problem, sir. Or ma'am. But again, that's just me. Maybe you guys feel differently. Maybe you guys feel like that you have to stand your ground there because you feel like you have to battle for your right. But let's be honest here. I mean, our right to vape, I think, isn't necessarily us going around vaping inside restaurants, vaping inside, you know, coffee shops, or vaping inside bars, or vaping inside movie theaters. That's not what our right to vape should be about. It should be about our freedom to vape, you know, in the comforts of our home, in our cars, on our commutes to work, in, you know, in places where you're not really making it as an impression on young people. You know, places like that are our right to vape, and I don't think we should be offended if we can't vape in, say, a shopping mall, or if we can't vape inside, you know, a movie theater. I think those are certain places where it gets a little bit iffy. And for me, I don't know, I just don't like taking the chance. I feel like we have a certain weight on our shoulders already that we have to try and shake off. You know, I mean, we're already getting pressured enough by the governments around us, and even by non-government officials as well, saying that, you know, vaping needs to be banned. So how do we do our part to make sure we're showing that we respect other people's spaces and we respect other people's opinions and views? We just don't do it wherever we want, you know? And that's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree, maybe you don't. Let me know what you think. The final question for ethics, and I think this is a big one because this is the one that stuck with me, and this is where I think people will either agree or disagree with me. And I could be wrong, but I think this is what defines whether you agree or disagree with me. And the question is, do you vape because it's a way to smoke indoors? Is that the whole reason? Is that the one thing that drew you to vaping, was your ability to vape inside a space, whether it be an office building, whether it be a playground, or whether it be a shopping mall, a movie theater, a restaurant, wherever that might be? You know, the question is the only reason you're vaping right now because you're allowed to do it inside somewhere? Or are you like myself, where you genuinely like vaping over cigarette smoking, or any kind of smoking for that matter, really? And the reason you're doing it is because it's a way to get you off that. You know, it sucks when you have to go outside with all the smokers. I get it. I really do. You know, it's one of those things where we're trying to get away from the smoke and the toxins in smoke and everything by vaping, and yet we're being forced to go outside with them. So I get that. I completely get that. I understand it. But let's not draw attention from the bigger picture here. In my mind, here's what happens. If we become defiant and we become rebellious, or we become arrogant about where we're allowed to vape, and we just start vaping anywhere the hell we want to, you know who's going to hurt the most? It's going to hurt the vape shops the most, because they're going to be the ones who have to pay for our crimes. We're going to be the ones out there vaping in a shopping mall all the time, and all these vape stores are going to be under attack because they shouldn't be selling this stuff because we're not responsible enough to keep it in a certain area. You know, or they're going to be under attack saying, yeah, you can sell vape stuff, but it has to be all behind closed doors, you can't be visible anywhere, and they absolutely cannot sample anything inside the store. That's what's going to happen. It's bound to happen, you know, and that's what I'm trying to protect. Those are the places to me that matter, is a vape store, the places where we're allowed to do cloud comps. You know, these awesome events that are being put on all across the country, VapeCon and things like that. And I think VapeCon is the one here in Canada, in Toronto in July, I believe it is. I think it's July 24th, which I really wish I could make it there, but I'm actually going to be in Toronto 2 weeks after that for a wedding. So I won't be there 24th, I'll be there August 7th, which sucks. I don't have enough money to go back-to-back days or to extend my trip that long. But anyway, so I mean, I think we have to look at the bigger picture. What have we been allowed to accomplish with vaping? We have these amazing events. We have vape stores. We have the ability to, walk into a vape store and not have covers over everything. I don't know. To me, that's a win for me, What do you guys think? Let me know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I'm sounding like a complete asshole right now. If I am, forgive me, but, that's just who I am. So let me know what you think below. Anyways, so that's kind of my whole rant on ethics. I just wanted to get into it really deep. I hope I didn't offend anyone there, but I hope you can see where I'm coming from and where my point of view is from. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect. I know I'm not, but at the same time, I feel like I'm more careful about everything I do now that I'm a vapor. And I almost feel like I have this controversy around me where, I drive safer because I'm a vapor. I know it sounds weird, but it's like, I don't want to get into an accident and have them blame vaping for the accident. Like, I don't want that. And that's the thing, like, I try and be as careful as I can in daily life to make sure that I'm not giving the wrong impression for every other vapor out there. I don't want to be the one to ruin it for us, and I'm sure none of you guys want to as well. So, I don't know, take it for what it is. Anyways, I've ranted on long enough about that. I could take another hit off this. Actually, there is one place, one more place I want to talk about real quick as far as vaping goes. And I have a story to go with it as well, so it won't be too boring. But airports. Okay, airports, when I was a smoker, they were the worst. I don't know if they're different in the States, I don't know if they're different from where you are, but where I'm from, you cannot have a cigarette after you've entered the airport. You enter the airport, you check your bags, and you check in. And then you cannot have a cigarette until you land and you've got your bag in wherever your destination is. To me, it's either Toronto, Vancouver, Edmonton, wherever it is. You cannot have a cigarette until after you've landed, got your bags, and you're now out of the airport. That's a huge process. For me, I go to Toronto a lot because I have family back there, and it's, easily from the time I check in to the time I actually land and make it outside the airplane, it's easily 6-7 hours. Easily. I get to an airport minimum an hour and a half early, if not earlier, and then I'm stuck waiting there not being able to do anything. I started vaping just before my last trip to Ontario, and I have to be honest, I didn't use it in the airport because I was kind of afraid to. I didn't want to give a bad perception to everyone. And I was tempted just to go in the washroom and start vaping, but then I realized that if someone ever caught like smoke coming out of the washroom, or what appears to be smoke, they'd automatically think, okay, someone's smoking here or something's going on, everybody's going to panic. And I didn't want to cause that panic in an airport. If there's one place you don't want to cause panic, it's in an airport. So I'm sitting there, and I'm craving a vape so badly. I'm sitting there waiting. It's been about an hour and a bit. I still have another hour to go before my flight. And I'm sitting there, and I look over, and there's a plane that's unboarding. And I'm looking over, and everybody's getting out, and there's this old lady there. Must have been at least 80-something, if not older. Older lady, and it was amazing, because she's sitting there, and she walks out of the airplane, she goes into her pocket, grabs a vape pen, and just starts vaping it. And no one says anything. But here's the thing, it was an older lady. Had that been me, would someone have said something? Probably. I'm just saying. Not to sound sexist, not to sound ageist, but a young male who starts vaping, especially throwing clouds and not using a vape pen, it's going to give a bad impression. And it could cause some controversy. Again, I'm in an airport. That's the one place you don't want to cause controversy. So here's where I'm at with the airports. I would love if they had a little lounge or something for vapors. Hell, even if we had to go somewhere with smokers, but they would have the option to go somewhere as well. Whether it be a little fenced in area, whether it be like a little glass house, people can look at us. I don't give a shit about that. I would love to have something in an airport where vapors can just sit back and not disturb anyone else, but can enjoy what they're doing. I don't know, that's just me. What do you guys think? So that's my rant on ethics. Again, I am beyond stressed right now, so I'm just going to keep hitting this vape. Forgive me for that, but it is what it is. Alright, we got the hard part over with. Now it's the fun part. Let's talk about setup and what that includes, what that entails. So my setup as it is now, as I talked about in another video, this light above me here will turn off just randomly. It hasn't done it yet, although I have a feeling it's going to very soon, just because I said that. And what that means is I'm making a lot of unnecessary cuts in my videos. And you may have even caught some of them, where I'm starting a sentence, I'm going on and on and on, and then it just cuts out and I finish the sentence. And you guys are probably sitting there like, how the hell did you screw up that sentence? Like, how else could you end that sentence? And it's not because I screwed up, it's because this stupid fucking light went off in the middle of my sentence, or in the middle of a rant, and I basically have to lose track of time. I made an unnecessary cut. In order to keep it going, all I have to do is go like this over here and just motion it, and it turns back on. But yeah, so that's the thing. I'm going to be replacing that light very shortly, so I don't have to do that anymore. I'm also going to be investing in some actual lighting for my videos. I've got this big ass, like, I can't even look at it without getting blinded. It's almost like a industrial light kind of thing. It's like a big industrial lantern. I've got it set up right now to hopefully keep this light on. It's working so far, but we'll see how it goes. But I do want to invest in some lighting as well, so I'm looking into that right now. Hopefully I get some decent lighting for you guys. Hopefully I fix this thing very soon and we can have a proper setup again. Now as far as what I use for my setups, I will talk about the camera I use, talk about some of the things I use to help me create my videos, and go from there. So the camera I'm using is a Sony HDR 900 EX maybe, or 900 something. I'm looking at it, it doesn't have the actual model number on it anywhere, but yeah, it's a Sony HDR 900 something. Really nice camera, shoots in 1080p. I do all my editing right now in iMovie. I'm debating on going out and spending some money on Sony Vegas. I don't know if I'm going to or not. It's pretty expensive. It's like 600 bucks for it. So I haven't decided if I'm going to spend the money on it yet, but that's something I'm also looking into for future videos. Hopefully get the editing a little bit more robust. What else do I want to talk about in setup? Yeah, so as you probably, I don't know if you noticed or not, but it takes a long time for me to do the editing and for it to actually upload to YouTube. You know, a 30-minute video, honestly, between all the cuts I might take and between certain things where I cut it out or retakes of certain parts, the videos themselves can take me anywhere for a 30-minute video, anywhere from an hour to 2 hours just to record. Sometimes even longer, actually. And with that, that's only a fraction of the entire process for anyone who doesn't know. The editing process, again, takes probably about an hour to do. And then to upload it to YouTube takes the longest. It's because they're such large files. Most of my files are usually around 4 gigs or more, even for just a 30-minute video. So they can get pretty high up there. And they'll actually take upwards of around 300 minutes. So what's that, like 5 hours? I think, yeah, 5 hours. Just to upload. So it takes a long time. You'll notice a lot of my videos get posted at like midnight, but it's only because it takes so long to upload. So just keep that in mind going forward. A few other things I want to talk about is some branding, which I know doesn't really count as setup, but it kind of is. I got one of my buddies here designing a really good logo for me. What I'm going to do is he's going to design probably 2 or 3 different logos, and I'm going to actually release a video so you guys can vote on which one you like the best. So far they're looking really nice, and I'm really impressed with what he's done so far. I think they're going to be really good. I think you guys are going to like them. But again, we'll release them in a separate video just on logos and stuff, and you can pick the winner. I'm also going to be trying to do an intro to my videos, which should be pretty cool. That's coming in after the logo, so probably in the next couple of weeks I'll hopefully have an intro to it and make it a little bit more professional, a little bit more robust, so I'm not just like turning on a camera and being like, hey, Robbie Vapes here, but because that's exactly how I sound, right? No, so there'll be an intro, there'll be a logo, it'll be a lot more professional, it'll be a much more enjoyable experience for you, the viewers, hopefully, and so yeah, so that's the plans right now. Hopefully by, within the next month or so, I'll have a really good, robust channel where you guys are going to see some really good reviews. You guys are going to see, some better lighting here. It's going to be a lot more visible. I'm going to be a lot more interactive with my stuff. And speaking of which, I do want to make a huge apology to anyone who watched the Freak Show mini video. I rushed that a lot, and one of my commenters actually, pointed it out to me saying, how can you get an idea of something in just an hour? And he made a very good point, and I respect that. And I say in all my videos, I respect criticism. I absolutely do. And I think that without criticism, you kind of end up, in this little rut kind of thing where you're not really improving your videos. With criticism, I feel I can improve my videos, and he pointed it out. And so going forward on all devices, including my next review, which is the Magnus V2, I will be spending no less than 5 days with the device, hopefully longer. This one I'm spending a week with, because I have a lot of things I want to touch base on. I want to see how certain things work compared to the V1. I'm using the V1 a lot more because of this thing. I'm still using the Heracles, because now I want to see how it stacks up to the Heracles. All these variables come into play, so I want to see, how everything works for longer than just an hour, because it's true. It wasn't a fair judgment. Since then, I took the poster's advice and actually was able to fix the spitback I was getting from my e-juice. And I'm not sure how I feel about it now. There's still some issues I'm having, but I'll probably end up releasing a follow-up video to the first one with some updates on, how I feel about this or how I feel about that, and just give a really good idea of how my mind has changed, or if it has changed, from the time I shot that first video to the follow-up. So you can look forward to that soon. Hopefully it comes out relatively quickly. And yeah, so a bit of a side rant there, but that will do it for that. And oh yeah. So now we have some other stuff I want to talk about, which are my hobbies. Some of the things that are non-vape related that most of you probably don't know about me. I have something right here which I'm going to bring to the table here really shortly. But before we do, let's get into what else is Robbie Vapes like. We know he likes vaping, or at least we can assume that. And that's all we really know about him. He likes the Blue Jays, who, by the way, just beat the Yankees today in the season opener, so I'm stoked on that. But yeah, so I seem to be a sucker for finding all of the hobbies, if you will, that have the most controversy around them. So my other hobby is my other hobby is actually as controversial, if not more so, than vaping. I am a huge fan of exotic animals, in particular reptiles. So I actually own several snakes, lizards. What else do I own? I guess I kind of generalize that very quickly. But yeah, snakes, lizards, and arachnids as well. The snakes I own a corn snake, I own a carpet python, I own a boa, and I own a blood python. So 4 snakes that I have that are kind of in my collection here, or at least in my household. 2 of them are mine, 2 of them are my brother's. We live together. We also have tortoises as well and things like that. So quite a few things. Now here's the thing, being involved with reptiles has kind of prepped me for the controversy around vaping, and that's why I've learned to be very careful about how I do certain things. Because with snakes especially, there's always people out there who are trying to ban them, trying to get rid of them, and really just trying to do whatever they can to make sure that no one has a snake as a pet, because they don't understand the benefits of them. Now, I know it's hard to understand the benefits. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but they are a passion of mine. Lizards, I have a frilled dragon who's actually just over here behind the camera. I have a bearded dragon in my reptile room there. I have, I guess that's it for lizards right now. And then I have a couple tarantulas as well. So, today in this video, hobbies and interests, it wouldn't be fair if I talked about them without at least bringing something out. So here we have my pet tarantula. Now I'm going to move the camera a little bit so you guys can see if I zoom out here. And hopefully I'll be able to take him out as long as he's not too feisty today. So this is my pet tarantula. And yes, I know how crazy that sounds. Just going to take her out. Put her right up here. And there she is. So yes, I do have a pet tarantula. I find them make great pets. I love them. They're different. They're unique. They're really, really cool. Yeah, so I'm going to put her back here. Let's let her get back in there. Just wanted to show you guys some of my other interests. Now with spiders, you want to be very, very careful of them because they are very fragile, which is why I'm moving so slowly right now. But yeah, that is her. So she's able to cooperate with me. Her scientific name is Brachypelma vagans, or the Mexican red rump tarantula. Great animal, great pet. She comes to all the shows with me that I do. Speaking of which, I do a lot of work with a non-profit group here in Alberta, the Alberta Reptile and Amphibian Society. I bring her to all my shows. It's a great way to educate people. It's a great way to show people that, that maybe pop wasn't the best idea. Anyways, it's a great way to show people that they're not as dangerous or as harmful as people think they are. They do, they make really good pets. They're really easy to take care of. They're really interactive as well, and they're really cool as well, just to bring up as a conversation piece. So that is my interest, or one of them. In future videos, what I'll do in future vlog videos, I'll bring out maybe one of my animals every video. Maybe I'll do a snake next one so you guys can see what one of my snakes look like. And yeah, I think we'll do that in the rest of the vlogs, because that's something I actually enjoy. Apart from that, let's get to the big news that you guys have all been waiting for. So, we know I like spiders, we know I'm big on efficacy, and we know that my setup right now is shit. What you don't know is I'm going to be doing a 100 subscriber giveaway. That's right, guys. My channel has grown so much in just a short time. The only way I can think of rewarding all of you guys, the viewers, my subscribers, is to do some sort of giveaway already. So I am going to be doing a 100 subscriber giveaway that will hopefully come out shortly, but of course depends on how fast my channel grows. And there's going to be some rules in place. I'm still working out a few details, but I'll talk through that here in this video. So one of the rules in place is, of course, you have to be at least 18 or older to participate. I don't think I have anyone on my channel who's under 18, but if you are, unfortunately, you won't be qualified for this this competition. You know, it's just how it is. And I mean, actually, in some states it's 19, so just be the legal smoking age in your state or country. Which I guess leads me to the next fact, is I've been looking into shipping for a lot of the countries. I have actually looked at a lot of my views, and I've found I have a lot of people out of Germany, France, the UK, and the Philippines who are watching my videos. And I can't thank you guys enough, I really can't. But I don't know how I can qualify, if I'm going to qualify all my subscribers or leave it open to North America only. The reason being, shipping is really expensive. I looked into it for all the places, the top, I think 10 places or whatever in my views list, and it's like $130 for me to ship anything to most of these places, which is quite expensive. because you got to figure 130 bucks plus the cost of the prize. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't want to eliminate people just because they're not from North America, especially some of my loyal viewers who have been watching me for, you know, since day one kind of thing. It doesn't seem right. So I'm trying to work out a way that I can actually have the competition open to everyone. And one of the ways to do that is by limiting the prize I give out. To, instead of doing like a grand prize of like, you know, $100 worth of stuff, it might only be 40 or 50 bucks worth of stuff in the form of a clear miser or an RDA or something like that. So I'm still looking into the details. I still have a little ways to go, so I should have some time to work it out a little bit. But I did want to say that, you know, I need to, I really have to debate on how I'm going to work this and see what I can do from there. One of the things I have looked into though is I've actually looked into vape stores in the UK, in Germany, in France, to see if they'll let me buy something and ship it to one of my subscribers in that country. So that could also be a possibility. It would save me on shipping. It would be a great way to reward you guys. Obviously, I'd love to do something where I can just give everyone a prize, and I really would like to do that, but I don't have the money for that. I wish I did. In fact, if I win the lottery between now and the 100 subscriber giveaway, I will absolutely reward all of my subscribers with hands down, no questions asked. But again, I don't see it happening, so I'm probably going to have to limit it to one prize for the 100 subscriber giveaway. Again, I don't know. I feel bad. I feel like I want to give so much more than that, but I don't have a ton of money right now, and I mean, yeah, if I had the money, I would love to give you guys something, but I don't right now, so I'll do the single prize. We'll work out some details later on, figure out what we're going to do. One other thing we're going to do as well, which I'm not going to even lie about it, I got it from Suck My Mod because I'm a huge fan of theirs. I really like what they're doing about the whole giveaways where they want to see like a picture of your battery or a picture of your device you can be using something on, just to prove that you have something capable of handling whatever they're giving away. So I think I'm going to do something similar to that. So keep in mind, you know, you'll want to have something that's safe. And I will give you guys options. You know, it might be one of 3 or 4 different things. You might get a choice of an RDA. You might get a choice of a clear miser. You might get a choice of a, you know, like a sub-tank mini, or like a Magnus, or the Heracles or something. Or it might be like an RDA where you get like a Freak Show mini, or like maybe a clone of some sort, or maybe a Mutation X, something like that. And I'll give you guys a choice to figure out what you guys want. And based on that, you know, I'll let you guys pick something that you're comfortable with using, as opposed to just forcing one prize, buying it right away, and saying, here, you're stuck with this. So the winner will end up getting a choice of a few things, and I'll go out and buy it, whether it be from within my own country, or whether it be maybe, you know, if you're outside of North America, then it might be buying something from France or Germany or the UK, so that all of you subscribers still have an equal chance to get something, and I'm not spending as much on shipping. So we'll work it out. Anyways, that is pretty much it for today. I think that pretty much covers my vlog that I wanted to talk about. This is kind of like a trial run. I might do some changes in the future for some of my other vlogs. What I think I'm going to do is do 3 vlogs, no matter what. Even if they get absolutely terrible ratings, I'm going to do 3 of them. And at the end of them, if, say, one of them worked out better, then I'll stick to that format. And if one of them, or if they all bomb, then I'll just kind of cut them out completely and just say, okay, count my losses, fair enough, and we'll go from there. So that does it for this one. Until next time, YouTube, happy vaping.